Welcome back. The champions of fake news, which we are using today in our second hashtag fake news champions, seem to have a fresh stock in their COVID fake news armory. Night after night, we are calling them out. I've decided we need to call them out, name and shame them every night. Tonight, a top minister in the Modi government has blasted a Lutyens media group for its completely misleading report about the people of Arunachal Pradesh. Watch how they were exposed and then we'll debate.
India is fighting coronavirus on a war footing. The result of our measures reflected in these numbers. While in countries like USA, Italy, UK and France, the infection rate doubled within 2 to 4 days, in India the spread has been slower. Our doubling rate as of now is 8 days.
हमने पिछले 7 दिनों के डबलिंग रेट के बेसिस पे जब कैलकुलेट किया तो देखा कि इंडिया का डबलिंग रेट लॉकडाउन से पहले जो 3.4 था अब वह इम्प्रूव होकर 7.5 हो चुका है। और इससे संबंधित और भी एक अच्छी न्यूज़ ये है कि अगर हम 19 अप्रैल तक का डेटा लें तो इस नेशनल एवरेज के तहत 18 स्टेट्स में नेशनल एवरेज से बेटर परफॉर्मेंस और बेटर इंप्रूवमेंट नोटिस किया गया है।
But as citizens of this country stand with the government in the war against COVID, some sections of the Lutyens media seem to be on a mission to weaken the fight by pushing fake news. One such network, which claims to be the torchbearer of ethics in journalism, has been called out by Union Minister Kiren Rijiju for a report whose headline reads, and I quote, "No rice left amid lockdown, Arunachal tribes kill king cobra for meal." The minister lashed out saying, no one hunts snakes for consumption in Arunachal Pradesh, even forcing the news portal to clarify and make changes. Fake news number 2 of the day, fact-checked by PIB. This website has been named and shamed for claiming children in Bihar's Jehanabad are eating frogs as they have no food at home. It's not the first time their caravan of lies countered repeatedly. They've been embarrassed for lying about how the Prime Minister consulted the 21-member scientific COVID task force before extending the lockdown. So from lying about shortage of PPE kits to fear-mongering about the availability of hydroxychloroquine, from raising the surveillance bogey over the Arogya Setu app to going to the extent of making it communal by saying patients are being segregated on the basis of their religion. We don't know if the champions of fake news will mend their ways, but what we know for sure is that they will now be named and shamed and they will be made to pay for their disservice. Let's debate.
I don't refer to this, what do you call it, channel by name because of its disproportionately low viewership. But I must refer to them today, what do I say, right, Saurabh? Because to let people get away, with so ghastly a journalistic crime would be unacceptable. And I think, therefore, we must name and shame this very poorly watched channel. I have hesitations in describing it as a news channel.
Well, it was your alma mater.
No. This is a phenomenon in recent years. Saurabh, apparently NDTV has said,
yes,
right, that because of the lockdown, people in Arunachal Pradesh have nothing left to eat. So, poor people of Arunachal Pradesh, because they have nothing to eat, have started eating king cobras. Did they actually say that, Saurabh? Did they publish this? Did they publish this as news?
Arnab, you showed a very senior minister of the government of India who is very well regarded, Kiran Rijiju, who comes from that state, clearly denying this. Clearly, this channel that you're talking about, and I will not name them, that they are, it seems, in the business of creating fiction. If a senior government minister is now naming and shaming them, now the government needs to make sure they take action as well. We have debated earlier as well, why isn't there be action taken against these fake news factories? They're misleading people of India time and again. They are churning out stories trying to say that there is deep problem at the time of lockdown. When converse is true. Any responsible media outlet, while they will continue to uphold the truth, yes, there can be challenges, but blatant lies like these have to be called out.
Unbelievable, actually.
And the government,
you have to.
I must say,
You have,
must
yeah, I
take
will.
stern action.
Yeah, you have to pinch yourself to believe that people
Arnab,
have become so desperate.
You know, Arnab, this is a time when this news can mislead so many people.
Yeah, I just want to say that, this is the kind of fake news that would have been picked up from this NDTV website by the Washington Post or some other rag in the West, which is anyway wanting to do snake charmer journalism in India. My question to Ninong Ering, who is the former Minister of State and former Lok Sabha Member of Parliament, delighted that you're joining us from Itanagar today. Mr. Ering, a lot of people across the Northeast, especially in Arunachal Pradesh, very, very angry with this fake news because they actually said, beyond the misleading headline, if you see, this article says that people are carrying the carcass of a venomous king cobra snake around their shoulders. And apparently these Arunachalis are saying in the video that there is no food left in the granaries of Arunachal Pradesh, and that's why they are eating snakes. You've seen this. How is this being received in Arunachal Pradesh and across the Northeast, this fake news?
Good evening, Arnav, and to all the other viewers also. Especially you are also from the Northeast. It's
Yes.
a long time, we did not meet again.
Yes,
But
Mr.
the thing is that we will, as Kiran Rijiju has said, I will also agree with him. See, there are some pranks by children or some people in the villages. Could be that this person must have gone to the jungle. He saw a snake, killed it, and just, he brought it back. But people in Arunachal are poor or they are hungry. That we will not agree, because the government of Arunachal Pradesh, even though I am at Congress,
Yes.
MLA and a former union minister of the Congress,
Yes.
but still the way that Honorable Chief Minister Mr. Pema Khandu is doing, it is Kabile Tarvis. He's really doing a good job. So
Yeah.
children outside the state are being looked after. The people in the state are being looked after. So I'm sure that a wrong message has gone. And especially any channel which depicts that Arunachal is hungry and have to eat snakes. Well, somebody just a prankster says it. Now all the Arunachal people cannot be blamed for that.
No,
Thanks.
it's just, the whole argument being put, there's no rice left because of the lockdown. You see, Mr. Ering, and yes, it is good to talk to you again. And as someone from the Northeast, I also felt extremely violated today at this
Yes.
characterization, and I must say this, where there is an attempt at characterization and stereotyping of people in the Northeast, Smita, which comes out as snake eaters and people who indulge in these practices, which is not true. And I'm very glad that Kiran Rijiju did say that nobody eats snakes for consumption in Arunachal Pradesh. It's horrifying. It's just just horrifying. So yes, it's good that you came up and spoke. But Smita, let me broad base this, and I'd like to get you into the debate with Saira. And Saira, if you please allow Smita to have the introductory comment, because you might make it difficult for her after that. My point is, Smita, that this is a pattern. Now, I have no pleasure in naming these otherwise inconsequential websites, but somebody else has said, the Scroll has published an article and says, because of the lockdown, there is no food, and children in Jahanabad, Bihar have started eating frogs. They've actually said, we are eating frogs, claim children in Jahanabad in this video. They put out the video, they put out the headline, and there's been a clarification, but there's no long apology, I see. Why?
The thing is that I'm just wondering who's going to put out next that alligators, crocodiles are being eaten in Gujarat or in Madhya Pradesh or something like that. This kind of absurd, bizarre stories, you can imagine, like you said, some foreign publication wanting to see something exotic and miserable coming out of India at the time of COVID. I can expect them to do it because they don't have ground reporters. But what I can't understand is that how did it pass? How did these stories pass so many deaths? Because all of us have several cutoff points, and one can imagine that, okay, in coronavirus times we are working with 30% staff or 50% staff, so maybe some of the firewalls are lesser, but yet to think that, you know, a king cobra is being eaten because you don't have dal chawal. I mean, this is the bizarre form of racism, you know, especially with Northeast. One is always, you know, at the desk, one is careful to see that you don't hurt sentiments of people who already feel hurt because of mischaracterization by the Indian media. And over and above that, you come out with a bizarre story like this, ki mendak kha rahe hain, saap kha rahe hain. It is terrible. And, you know, Mr. Rijiju has come out and said this, and there will be a rollback of the story. But this would have already gone viral. And, you know, there is a lot of time that people have on their hands these days. There's a lot of fake TikTok videos and people sharing incessantly these TikTok videos. And when you share that, this is what happens. It finds its way into the media. And I can't tell you how often we have to like watch like hawks to see that none of this seeps through into our systems. And we have to watch with great care, because you can hurt people tremendously and hurt a country tremendously. And especially in the times when, you know, these are areas where communal issues could take place, where hate crimes can take place. So one has to be extra careful in times like this to make sure that these fake videos don't find their way into news websites, news agencies and channels.
Yes, but I wonder whether there is any sense of embarrassment. You know, decent people feel ashamed of themselves. They would be severely embarrassed if they would be named and shamed like this. Saira, I'm curious to know whether these fake news champions, who are part of a fake news fountain in this country, feel a tinge of embarrassment. For example, the 70-year-old Shashi Tharoor, who says that while the government touts its COVID diplomacy, stocks of hydroxychloroquine have run dry in India. Have run dry.
Can I come in?
I wonder, my question is, decent people feel embarrassment. Would these, would these fake news champions feel ashamed of themselves, or do they just carry on relentlessly pushing their agenda?
In this very, very important and pertinent time of the COVID-19, we can't be slamming another media house just because we feel that we are the harbingers of truth and justice.
Because no, I'm not saying I am the harbinger of truth. I have said that Shashi Tharoor has lied when he said hydroxychloroquine has run dry, and people in Arunachal Pradesh are not eating snakes, and people in Jahanabad are not eating frogs. I am putting the facts out.
The topic is Arunachal Pradesh and the hungry people there eating snakes. Now,
who is eating snakes, for God's sake? You go on about it.
Since times immemorial, it is nothing unusual that they do consume wildlife. It's not
Mr. Ehring, you need to tell her. Mr. Ehring, you need to tell her. She's continuing to say that snakes are a primary nutritional choice in Arunachal Pradesh. Will you please respond to her? She's sitting in Calcutta and spreading all this.
I did not say that. No.
Ma'am, have you ever come to Arunachal Pradesh? It is very unfortunate.
I know Mr. Ehring for a long time. Please hear him.
Yeah. Now what I'm saying, you cannot just say that people of Arunachal are eating snakes. That is impossible, because now, see, we may look chinky, we may be from look Chinese or like Korean, but it is not, it is never has been, snakes have never been a dish. Snakes have never been a dish in Arunachal Pradesh.
Absolutely.
I'm very
Nobody's
sorry.
saying it's a
How could you
staple
put this allegation like that? Okay, that boy just, brought that
no
snake
one is
up.
putting
That's a
any
different story.
allegation. No one is
He brought it
putting
and
any
brought
allegation.
it to the
And no
social
one is
media.
shaming
Viewers,
anyone.
the
Eating
real-
of snakes is not in Arunachal Pradesh,
No,
ma'am.
the real character.
I'm very sorry.
No, thank you for your clarification. Tom, it is in times of crisis like this, national crisis, that the real character of the fake news champions begins to come out. Like, you are well aware that when there was a case of domestic violence, Kavita Krishnan said a mother in Uttar Pradesh threw 5 children into the river, unable to feed them due to lockdown, due to loss of work. And she used it as an example to tag Narendra Modi and Yogi Adityanath. The mother did not kill her children due to hunger. So it was a lie. A certain web portal published an interview with former Chief Economic Advisor Shankar Acharya, putting out headlines saying IMF's 1.9% growth prediction for India is ludicrous. Actual figure could be negative. I'm also interested to know, how is a former chief economic advisor more credible in on IMF figures? And then there are the peripherals. You know who the peripherals are, Tom? Peripherals are a group of has-beens, socialites, with no relevance, who use Twitter to get relevance. They get great joy by being active on Twitter. One of the peripherals says that she's a socialite from Mumbai. I will not name the person. A person is completely irrelevant. Says there is a reason the rest of India cannot be Kerala. She circulates an article which says there is a reason the rest of India cannot be Kerala, which goes on to say a political system doesn't create a society. It's the character of people that enables political system, thereby passing judgment on the character of Indians. Cheap tactics for relevance. We've seen all of this coming up. Saira, you are quiet today. You should reflect. Tom, why is this happening?
No, you're not letting me to talk.
Arnab,
your channel called
the
me up a couple of times. Honestly.
Can I? He's asked me to answer that question. He's asked me to answer that question. He's asked me that question. Let me tell you something. The institution called Editors Guild. Okay. Now these are institutions, and they're supposed to be protecting. And I understand you already resigned from it. I congratulate you for that.
Thank you. It has been my pleasure to do so.
It is a fake industry that is running in. And let me add one thing, especially when they talk about Arunachal Pradesh, there is a huge external interest which is doing all this service. And this is economically very, very useful for them. This is business, Arnab, anti-national activity during a crisis. And I beg to tell you that this frog business and the snake business that they are talking about is apparently part of a larger game picked up by international media to paint India black. And that's not workable because India has proved that it can fight COVID-19 better than many of their own country. So this is a broad attempt to paint India in dark paint. And this is an exercise being done by an association of so-called journalists who operate for pure funds, nothing more. They get $500 or $1,000. Yeah. That's all in dollars, and that's the story.
Well, thank you, Tom, for your intervention, and thank you for noting my resignation from the Editors Guild. In any case, the Editors Guild, if you do a little bit of investigation on it, you would find that very few notables there would be editors today. The bunch of has-beens and people who were somewhere in an editorial capacity a few decades back. So it's a defunct organization. Nevertheless, I do believe, what's his name? Shekhar Gupta should talk about this story that came out in NDTV about the snakes and the story that came out in Scroll about the frogs. Don't refuse to comment, Gupta. Now, my next question is to Surendra Chauhan. Surendra Chauhan, how does it feel that now that the entire country has seen through the game of the fake news champions, that they have no credibility? including their, their people like Javed Akhtar, cheering others like Ashok Swain, who is circulating articles from 2017 with the caption, important to support medical professionals who are doing their duty. But those who demonize Muslims for a small group throwing stones at doctors in UP, where were they when an MP and Modi's former minister Anand Hegde was beating up doctors? Javed Akhtar cheers that on. And I wonder, certain journalists are retweeting posts that say, graveyards are working overtime in Indore. People to talk to say in MP that it is India's Wuhan. The state does not have a functioning government. Do they ever ask? In this case, Veer Sanghvi, I'll name you also. It's your lucky day. Veer Sanghvi, why don't you ask why your friend Kamal Nath was trying to organize a film award ceremony in February, which would have cost hundreds of crores in the city of Indore? Which is what the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh told me today. Would you like to ask your friend Kamal Nath, or would you not be able to clink glasses with him the next time in a 5-star restaurant? Surendra Chauhan, these uncomfortable questions are now being asked everywhere. Tell me, how does it feel that the whole country has exposed the fake news industry? You feel you've lost some pillars of support?
Arnab, it is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that the fake stories are spreading now.
Is that all you have to say? Unfortunate.
Unfortunately, there is no.
That's all you say. Unfortunate.
To put a gag on this. So time is there to fix accountability of these channels.
This is the problem, Arnab, unless
because see, the people of India have faith in the news and in the journalism.
And I'm telling you, anybody spreading fake news,
and a strict action has to be taken. That how come? I was reading their tweet. Later on, they clarified it that it was they were showing the factual thing of wild crime.
With the sentiments of people,
it's a very sorry state of affair. Firstly, you put something and then you come out that we were showing wildlife crime.
It is a question of credibility of media today. The entire media will lose credibility if these fake news factories are not shut.
Now the question therefore goes, somebody wrote this piece in the Gulf News, Syed and Smita come into the debate. I can see that you're stunned a little bit. Are you feeling all right? What's happening? As you're playing poker with me, is it tonight, Syed? You can't move.
No.
Huh? Enjoying this.
Absolutely good.
Enjoying this, right? Now the question is, we've only begun. You see, certain people wrote a piece in Gulf News saying, understand the chronology in India. Almost presenting India as a very evil country of evil people. And people in the Gulf are good people in good countries. So this person writes in the Gulf News, understand the chronology in India. Let coronavirus hit and then spread fake news demonizing Muslims. Why is it that these articles are being written, Syed? By the same people who were quiet about Palghar, or about the police being attacked in Agripada, or about the massive assault on health workers in Moradabad, or about the missing Tablighi Jamaat head? Can you do something else apart from nod your head?
I'm very glad that you mentioned about Tablighi Jamaat. Ms. Smita Prakashji of ANI has been exposed as she was the one it was ANI who spread the fake news on Tablighi Jamaat, that certain individuals in Noida came in contact with Tablighi Jamaat, whereas I'd like to thank the DCP of Noida who exposed you.
What absolute lies is he spreading? Don't talk nonsense. What lies? What are you talking? You are lying through your teeth. You are faking it. You are lying through your teeth.
I will prove it.
We spread no fake news. You are lying through your teeth. You are lying through your teeth.
Contact with Tablighi Jamaat.
Absolute lies.
The DCP.
Absolute lies. You are talking rubbish. Absolutely.
Expose you and
absolute lies. We spread no lies. We spoke no fake news. You are a liar. You just come on television every night and shamelessly lie. Absolute shameless liar. There is no other word for you. There is absolute no other word for you. You are a person who goes hops from channel to channel, spreading absolute lies. And pretend to be a journalist.
Syed Aslam, since you have been exposed by Smita, you might as well apologize.
There is no other word
or produce the evidence right now.
human
Come on.
being.
I have exposed Smita today where she said that certain people came in contact with Tablighi Jamaat,
Absolute
but it was not true.
fraudulent,
The Deputy
absolute
Commissioner of
fraud.
Police...
Another example of fake news on live television today.
Give me an opportunity to speak
That was
over
the
this
fake
man.
news.
1 minute, 1 minute. Listen to her, listen to her. She's going to tear you apart,
This guy
chop you into
is
little
spreading
pieces. The
absolute
weight.
fake news.
Truth is truth, false is false.
Let me tell you, the absolute rubbish that he is talking about, as far as Tablighi Jamaat stories are concerned, every news that we put out is given out by the police. And unless the police doesn't give it, we don't put it out. There are times the police also gives us information which we put out. And then they go back on their word and say, pull that news back because we need to bring that area in control. We pull that back, taking the flank on social media, on ourselves, but we take that news back till the police has that area in control, and then we put the news, and then even then we take the flag. Mind you, there are many times officials give information and go back on it and say fake news and put the blame on the media. We take that blame because we understand the social responsibility at that point that the police needs to bring that area under control. Then the healthcare workers need to go out there. Lives are at stake. We take the flag for something, a mistake that the police might
Now
have
you know
committed in a
what?
particular
May I
place.
intervene? 1 second, Smita. Sayed, now you need to listen, Smita.
Who make our job more and more difficult.
Yeah, you see, the thing is this.
Absolutely not.
The problem. Thank you, Syed, for your intervention. The point is that you see,
You're a
Smita,
liar.
you need to understand
I don't
this,
even want to
Smita.
talk
Smita, if I can speak to you. You see, you are a clear and present danger to the fake news media for two reasons. As an individual, you don't pull your punches. Right, Saurabh, all of us who know Smita know she doesn't pull her punches. Secondly, you put in effort. You employ hundreds of people and you run the largest news agency in the subcontinent with one of the most professional large crews in the world today. ANI could be compared to any news agency anywhere in the world. It is one of the largest. So problem for you, Syed, is that your little teeny weeny fake news outfits have no relevance when it comes to ANI. So ANI is obviously a clear and present danger to you, and she shut you up nicely. My other question today, I want to elevate this debate. I wish to elevate this debate. I wish to elevate this debate. Elevate the debate today. Elevate the debate now. Thank you, Syed. Thank you. You did entertain me for a while. Now the question is Surendra Chauhan. And Saira, this question is also interesting. There is a lobby that is sitting in America today, which it's got everything in life only by claiming to be Indian. You know, there are these people, Tom, they are nobody unless they claim they are Indian. They claim they are Indian so they get little money, South Asia department in a Midwestern American university. You know, Saurabh, they claim they sell their Indianness completely. Now, I find it fascinating, Saurabh, that the same people, I have done a research on this, there is one person at Purdue University who attacks Donald Trump for not doing the things that Narendra Modi is doing, and then attacks Narendra Modi for doing the things that Donald Trump is not doing. Do you follow me? This is incredible. I'll give you a live, and you got what I'm saying, right? Smita, no, let me give you an example. This person says, there's one little person who says, she says, the economy, it seems, is the most vulnerable little child that everyone from Trump to Boris Johnson is ready to protect with their shining swords. But when Narendra Modi puts economy back and puts people in front, this same individual says, look at what fascist Narendra Modi is doing. Fascist Narendra Modi has imposed a lockdown. Arey Baba, you are attacking Donald Trump for not imposing a lockdown. It doesn't make sense. Have they lost their mind if they ever had one, Saurabh? What are these doing?
Trump has no power. It is the governor and the mayor. Trump has no power to impose the lockdown. It is the governors and the mayors in America.
Absolutely not. Let me tell you, The same New York Times that puts out editorials for the US saying the worst of the pandemic is yet to come, listen to the medical experts, have a national lockdown. When India imposes the lockdown, then the same New York Times says that the lockdown is an order to starve. I mean, where is your sense of balance?
It's a question. Arnab, selective amnesia is something that they wear it on their sleeves. This is selective amnesia. That's what they do all the time and peddle their fake narrative and peddle their vested narrative. They can
Lost the line there. Lost the line there.
You know why Pradyut Bora, an important pioneer team part of
And my
BJP
one minute. Saurabh, I lost you in between there. You and Saira were on the debate. Yes, please complete your point, Saurabh.
Yeah. Can I just, Arnab, come? I'm saying that the problem is that they cannot digest the fact that Narendra Modi in India has enforced a lockdown along with the cooperation of states. Several states are opposition states who have praised the manner in which the Prime Minister of India has gone about enforcing this lockdown. Please check what happened at the meeting the Prime Minister had with the Chief Minister. This is India's success, and they cannot digest sitting there thousands of miles away because all the dollars they have taken there and kept, because they are peddling lies to support a certain narrative. That's a problem. And they cannot digest the fact that India is doing it so well. They still want India to be known as a country of snake charmers, not the country of people who wield the mouse.
Sarah Tom, closing the debate after Sarah Tom.
Everyone is supporting the government's decision for the lockdown, including the extension. So I really don't know, where you've got this news that people are not supporting. I mean, no one is a fool to go distance out there and not practice.
Well, there is a chief minister in West Bengal who talks about a inter-ministry delegation that has come 2 hours early, and she refuses to cooperate. And she has put it on record. So what are you talking about? What kind of
Which takes me to the next debate, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, tremendous response to this debate, especially the manner in which Smita Prakash chewed up that little argument being put, that bit of fake news being peddled by Syed Asad Abbas. Syed Asad Abbas, we are now going to give it back to every peddler of fake news. They don't know what's coming. You have no idea. You have no idea what's coming next. You have no idea what's coming next. And finally, my dear